Okay, Cynthia, good morning to you. Good afternoon for us. Uh, we're gonna start. With the webinar, okay? And then as people are joining, I see that Anthony just come in. We will accept it, okay? Okay. Just to let you know, we're gonna record the webinar so we can share after this webinar. We can share the video with all the people that register for the event. Also, I would like to introduce myself. I'm Alvaro Mocholi. I'm responsible for international sales for the company Grecom Technologies. And then now, well, as we invite to you, we're going to talk today about all the different solutions with artificial intelligence that we have for the renewable industry or sector. Okay. So first of all, I would like to do a very brief introduction of our company. Grecom Technologies is a company that was founded in 2005. And we are very specialized in developing real-time analytics, and we are specialized in developing analytics for thermal imaging cameras. That is our biggest expertise. Although we also have solutions for optical spectrum cameras, but our biggest expertise area is the thermal imaging. Currently, we have over 30 different analytics developed up to date, and we export to 64 countries worldwide. One of the key benefits or the key advantages that our company has is that we have our own R&D department, which is responsible for not only developing our own solutions, but also to customize to our solutions according to the customer needs for some projects, especially for critical infrastructures and large projects. Also, we have an integration department which is responsible for integrating all our solutions with existing VMSs, access control devices, NVRs, and so on. And then just to let you know, I mean, we are not just selling the licenses. I mean, the price of our licenses include the setup, configuration, and fine tuning. So it's kind of like a turnkey solution. Until the customer is not satisfied with the outcome of the analytics, we will not start working on it. So this is a compromise that we offer to all our clients. So in case that you are a system integrator, we will do pretty much all the job for you. The only thing that you have to do is to set up the cameras for us and all the electrical connections. But as for the configuration of the analytics, we will do it everything remotely, but we will do it. Also, we have the after sales department, which is responsible for assisting or solving any potential problems that might show up, either with the analytics, communication problems, and so on. These are all the different lines of analytics that we can offer. So we have solutions for perimeter surveillance, safety, marine surveillance, traffic. We are very specialized in tunnels, especially in railroad and vehicle tunnels, fire prevention and detection, healthcare, automation. That is probably where we have more solutions, face recognition, forensic, and recently we just have incorporated the cybersecurity area. So, okay, let's start all over. The first solution that I would like to present to you is the perimeter surveillance solutions. We have two solutions on. The first one is the perimeter lookout with artificial intelligence. This is a solution that in most of the cases we use it for optical spectrum cameras. The key advantage is that that is a very accurate solution with very low false alarm rate. We can discriminate animals, vegetation movement, light changes, shadows, raindrops on the lens, insects on the lens, and also we can auto-classify persons and vehicles. Okay, has multiple detection rules: intrusion, line crossing, prowling, and abandoned object. Okay, right now it's just integrated with Milestone, although we can integrate it with, when we say we are integrated, means that we not just send the event, but also we can send the video clip to the VMS, okay? As for the basic integration, we also have the solution integrated with Genetec, Goitebrook, Axis Camera Station, Pelco, Avigilon, Latitude, Chameleon, Cat6, EDIS, and Digifort. Okay. So as I explained to you, one of the key advantages of this solution is very accurate, but one of the disadvantages that I might have is that the detection range is not very long. So with an optical spectrum camera, we might be detecting in the worst case scenario, that is at night, we can detect like around 90 meters away. And in case that we're using thermal imaging cameras, the maximum distance in order to be able to classify the objects will be like around 150 to 180 meters. On the other hand, we have another solution, which is the Sentinel Thermal. Sentinel is a solution which has been specifically developed for thermal imaging cameras. The key advantage is the detection range is very long, so we can detect close to 400 or 500 meters, depending on the scenario. It does not have artificial intelligence, so we cannot auto-classify the objects. We can discriminate objects by size and by behavior, but we cannot auto-classify. Okay, so that is one of the disadvantages that we have with this Sentinel solution. And the key advantage, as I said, is the long detection range, which turns into less a number of cameras in one large perimeter. So it's a very cost-effective solution versus some other solutions that you find on the market. Okay. So here, what I did is I did kind of like a comparison between our solution and competing solutions. So for instance, in this project, this is a case study. Our competition required 44 cameras, thermal imaging cameras. And then in our case, we require 33. Okay, so that means almost a 25% saving on the number of cameras. But besides saving on the number of cameras, we also save on all the civil works stuff, analytics, VMS, closet, server, and so on. So at the end of the road, our solution compared to competing solutions, we might save like around 22% of the cost. So in this case, for example, we are saving almost 76,000 euros in this case. Okay. Also, this solution is available on embedded version. We can run these analytics embedded into Axis, Hanwha, and then also Dahua. And then here we're gonna do also a comparison between the embedded version and also the server-based version. So as you can see here, we're saving like around 7% between the server-based and the embedded version. And then if we compare the competing solutions versus the embedded version, I mean, the savings increases on about 5%. So it's about a total of 27% savings. Okay, here what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you a video on the detection range.
In video analytics. Discover Sentinel, an advanced system for intrusion detection on restricted access areas. Available
what I'm
for
gonna do is
thermal
I'm gonna
cameras.
preview.
The
This is
lowest
a
false
detection
alarm rate
range
on the
test
market.
that we did using FLIR
Discriminates
and Axis
objects by
cameras.
size and behavior. The largest
So here
detection
is the
range on
detection
market.
range at 380 and 20 meters.
2 pixels.
As you can see, the top left corner is FLIR, the right and the bottom is Axis. So this is a detection range test, but this doesn't mean that we deploy the cameras at 800 or 900 meters. This is just simply to check out how far we could go on normal conditions. But usually what we do is whatever is our maximum detection range, usually we deploy the camera half the distance. So that is, if we can reach 1 kilometer away, the maximum distance that we will deploy the camera will be 450 or 500 meters. And as you can see here is the detection is not steady, and also it's almost impossible to identify what object is on the field of view of the camera. So this is just a test to show you how far we can get, okay? And here I'm gonna show you another video, and this is with the artificial intelligence, okay? So here, as you can see, there is a number on top of the overlay box. So that means that what is the percentage of accuracy of classifying the object, okay? Also, you can see that is on the center image, there is a lot of movement, and still we don't generate any false alarms by the movement. And on the other ones, the contrast is not too much contrast, and still we can detect it. Okay, another one of the solutions that is highly demanded for renewable industry is the temp threshold, which is a solution for fire prevention and detection. Basically, what this solution is what we do is we analyze the temperature thresholds of all the objects that are on the field of view of the camera. But on top of that, what we do is we analyze the behavior. Okay, so just to give you an example, imagine that we are in a biomass plant. Okay, there is you have three scenarios. You have like internal combustion, you have machinery working on the field of view of the camera, and then also you have the fire detection. Okay, so what we do is we have three different profiles running simultaneously, with each profile with a different configuration. Okay, so for example, for internal combustion, let's call it the configuration will be all the objects and all the objects that are on the field of view that are between 50 degrees and 100 degrees. And then what we can do here is the internal combustion, the temperature increases very slowly and stays fixed on one point, okay? On the other hand, we have the machinery, which is an object that is between 120 to 180 or 200 degrees. And the temperature is very steady, and the object is moving around the field of view of the camera. So that is a totally different behavior. And then we have the fire, which is an object that is over 300 degrees. The temperature increases very rapidly, and also the intensity and the size of the point or the object increases very rapidly. So that is the behavior. So as I said at the beginning, what we do is we analyze, first of all, we analyze the temperature threshold. If the temperature is between all those three different profiles that we have set up the camera for, it will be detected, but we will not trigger the alarm. And then we will start analyzing the behavior. If we see that the behavior matches with any of those behavior criteria that we have set up the system for, then we will trigger different alarms. So it will trigger like internal combustion in case that is machinery. It will not trigger any alarm. It will be discriminated, and in case of is fire, it will detect the fire alarm. So we can activate also sprinklers, fire alarms. We can activate emergency doors and so on in case that is an indoors situation. We apply this solution especially on biomass, recycling, dump plants, and chemical and oil and gas industry. Here I'm going to show you a video on how the solution works. The solution can work with fixed or PTC cameras. So here on the upper right corner, you can see that says the maximum and the minimum temperature. So the red cross is the maximum temperature, and the blue cross is the minimum temperature. In this case, there is no detection. So here simply shows you how the system is working with a PTC camera, and then also that is able to discriminate the machinery and not triggering any alarms. Okay. So here, for example, we have some case of internal combustion, but we see that the temperature is not increasing at all. So that is the reason why we not trigger an alarm. Here I'm going to put you another example of a fire detection solution. Let me just move forward. So also this is with a PT camera. So right now it's moving. this is detecting, but right now it's analyzing, and then once it sees that the temperature or the size and intensity is increasing is when we detect we trigger the fire alarm. As you can see, it's different colors. When it's green, means that there is an alarm. When we see that it's increasing the temperature of the size, we turn into yellow, and then we turn into red when we trigger the fire alarm. Another one of the solutions that we offer is the transformer monitor. As you know, in most of the solar plants and also on biomass plants, there is transformers or substations nearby. So here what we do is we monitor all the components inside the substation or in the transformer. And the main objective here is to detect overheating components. So what you can do here is we analyze if any of the components is overheating, and then also what we can do is we can compare that component to similar components on the same site. So if we see that all the components are varying the temperature at the same time, that means that all the components are working correctly. But if we see that one of the components is varying the temperature threshold different from the other components, that means that that component is not working as expected, and sooner or later we're going to have a failure. So before it turns into a major failure, what we do is we trigger the alarm, and then we detect it. So here, also this solution is available with fixed or PTC cameras. One of the key benefits also is that we have the distance correlation. As you know, the energy or the temperature dissipates with the space. The farther the object is from the camera, the less temperature or less accurate reading will be the camera be able to do. So what we do is, based on the distance the object is from the camera, what we do is we correct it in a way that we can have the right temperature reading. Okay. Also, it has one very unique solution. That is, we can, hold on, just turn off the mobile. Also, what we can do is we can work offline. So whenever we are recording the images, we are recording the images with all the metadata. So what you can do is you can move the mouse over the image, and you can know pixel by pixel exactly the temperature of that object, of that pixel. So this solution, besides working on real time, also will allow you to work offline in case that you want to verify the temperature of any of the components. Okay. Another one of the solutions is the face recognition. This we will do it for the access control. So what we can do with this solution, we can guarantee a 99.87% of accuracy without face mask. In case that you're wearing a face mask, we can guarantee 98.6% of accuracy. It follows all the privacy regulations, AAS 256, and then also with HTTPS. It can work on the cloud, on hybrid, on-premise. It's compatible with all the operating systems, Windows, Mac, Linux, Android, and iOS. And also we have our own API, and then also SDK in case that we need to integrate it with an existing security platform, VMS, or MVR, and so on. So what can we offer with the face recognition? From the monitoring point of view, we can have the mass detection, social distances, audience management, multi-factor authentication. So for example, imagine that workers that are on site, that are wearing the uniforms, the helmet, the glasses, face masks. Sometimes it's very difficult to identify. So what we can do is we can place a QR code on the vest or on the clothing, and we will be able to identify that person with the QR code. Okay. Also, from the facial recognition, we can have access control. So we can know exactly at what time people check in, what time they check out. And then also we can have the subscription and activation of new customers. So imagine that there is a supplier that is visiting the facility, So once that supplier is registered, the next time it comes, it doesn't need to register again. So it's very, it improves, it speeds up the process of registering. And also what you can do is you can kind of like have kind of like a blacklist. So for example, if any of the employees is no longer authorized to enter into the facility, you can also block it, okay? And then you have the liveness and anti-spoofing, which would allow us to identify people that are trying to supplant the identity of another person. Okay, so that will be also available. And then from the analytics point of view, we can do demographic analysis, heat maps, queuing time, dwell time, and an occupancy panel. So for example, imagine that you are in a facility that the maximum number of people inside the premise is, let's call it 20 people. So whenever you reach the maximum, automatically will block the entrance to upcoming people. So here I'm going to show you a video on how the liveness and anti-spoofing works. So here you will see that whenever it detects a person, automatically identifies and puts a green heart on top of it. So that means that is a real face. Okay. So whenever you try to supplant the identity with a picture, you see there is a red heart on top of it. So that means that the system has identified that it's not a real face, so it will block the entrance, so it will not open up the gate. It's also compatible with mobile devices, even with videos, it will work out. And then also you have the double identification process. So that means whenever you use the badge, in case that the identity of the badge does not correspond with the identity of the face recognition, it will not affect the entrance.
Grecham Technologies, your partner in video analytics.
Another one of the solutions that we want to offer you is the VMS with artificial intelligence. Okay, this is not kind of like a basic VMS where you are just recording 24 hours, 7 days a week, whatever the cameras are viewing. Okay, here what the key difference of this solution basically is that whenever the system is recording, it's classifying the objects. That means whenever it's a vehicle, it's classified as a vehicle. Whenever it's a human, as a human. And then also will identify the colors, will identify the type of vehicle, will identify also the type of clothing, license plate number, or also the face with appearance. So that means that whenever you want to do a smart search, whatever you have to do is you have to go into the search tool and then just enter whatever you're searching for. For example, I'm searching for a male wearing a blue jumper with this face. Okay, so you just upload all that information into the system, and automatically the VMS will be searching through all the cameras that are connected, and then will come out with all the results that are very similar to whatever you have set up the search tool for. So this is a very cost-effective from the search point of view. Also has like a sound analytics, so it can identify fire alarms, any kind of alarm, people yelling or fighting will be able also to identify. So the good thing about this is it's not just a recording tool, it is also a proactive. So whenever you set up a rule with the cameras, with the analytics, if something happens, automatically will pop up on your screen. So you will be able to access in real time to the camera that registered the event, and then also be able to interact on real time. Okay, so here I'm going to show you how the architecture will work. We have two options. We can offer our own cameras, or we can go with third-party cameras. In case that we go with our own cameras, the key benefit is that the analytics and the recording is embedded into the camera. So you can record 30, 45, 60, 90, and 120 days. And those cameras will be connected directly through the cloud. okay? And then you will be able to access on real time to the camera, or you will be able to access to the recordings through any device that is connected to the network, even smartphones or tablets. In case that we're using a third-party camera, we will need to use the cloud connector, which is a server where we will have the analytics and the recording, okay? And then in order to access to the cameras or to the recordings, any device that is connected to the same network as the server, or we can go through the cloud and connect directly through the server, okay? Here I'm going to put you a video on how this solution works.
Welcome to AvaWare. Today we're going to cover search. Search is a tool that allows us to search for specific events that may have occurred across one or multiple cameras. This allows us to search for things like the appearance of a person or a vehicle, a line cross event where a vehicle or person has crossed a specific virtual line that we've drawn, loitering events where a person or a vehicle may have been stationary for too long in one place, indicating something like an idling vehicle that may be outside of a loading dock or outside of an airport, or a person that may just be acting suspiciously in an area that they should not be. We can also alert on sound detection, and this leverages the onboard sound detection in our AvaWare cameras that can detect things like glass breaks, loud noises, smoke alarms, and many more audio models that are being added with each release. So, for example, if we were to create a line cross search, what we can do is we can choose what kind of objects we want to search for. We can stick with any or go down to a specific person. This person can be specified based on gender or based on the attire that they're wearing in the top or the lower quadrant of their body, and you can combine both colors as well, looking for people in uniforms or based on a description that was given by a third party. We can also leverage an image. If someone has captured a cell phone image of this person or vehicle, we can upload that in order to do a search based on these detections. Then we can choose where we want to do this detection. So this detection can take place, for example, on a camera in a parking lot. It could also happen inside of a building. So if we were looking for people that may have been in front of a register, we can choose one or multiple cameras and then choose the line that we want these objects to be crossing in order to qualify for the detection. We can choose the direction of travel of this object. And in the case of something like a convenience store, if we're just looking for anyone that is walking out, as this person just did in this example, we can unclick the entering direction so that we're only looking for the direction of travel out the door. And then we can choose the time period that we're searching for. This can be anywhere from specific minutes down to a block of time that may be days or hours. And in our case, when we're just looking for the last 30 minutes worth of search, we're presented with all of the events that correspond to our search criteria. So in our case, we're looking for people that are exiting. And if I highlight over that video, we're going to see the people that are exiting. I can click into this video to see it in greater detail. This will allow me to see not only the event that occurred, but the object within our floor plan as that user exits this building. I can then click to act on that activity. But we can also see in our parking lot as a person was crossing that virtual line that we created. So this allows us to very quickly get to the events that matter to us and then act on them. These different video clips that we have captured here can then be exported. So we can take the relevant information by clicking the plus, and we can choose to share or save. So we can export this as an MP4. We can share this as a publicly accessible link. We can bookmark it so that these video clips do not get deleted by typical retention. And of course, we can also do similarity searches if we want to look for people that are similar to the objects that have been detected in these environments. Now, you're also presented with the ability to create a rule. We have a whole nother section dedicated to creating rules based off of searches as well as other parameters. I implore you to check that out.
Okay, so this will be all the different solutions that we can offer for the renewable energy industry. Here are some of the success cases that we have. For example, on the solar plant projects, we have been working with companies such as Excelio, which is one of the top companies worldwide. Iberdrola is also a Spanish company, and I will say in the top 5 renewable energy companies in the world. SunPower, DIWA, which is on the Emirates, Sagaya, which is in Kuwait, and then NL is also one of the top companies. So, for example, on the solar panels, solar plants, that is one of the biggest markets for us. Also on the biomass plants, we work with ENCE, which is one of the largest biomass companies and paper manufacturing companies in the world. So we do all their plants, not just in Spain, but also outside Spain. Bradner, which is also a European company based in Germany and in Austria, that we do a lot of biomass plants for them. So also we have projects on the defense and law enforcement, such as the FBI, the NATO headquarters, ROTA, which is a US and a Spanish military base in south of Spain. In the oil and gas, we work with companies such as Saudi Aramco, Repsol, Cepsa, which are the top 2 Spanish oil and gas companies. Critical infrastructures, we do Madrid International Airport, Trillo nuclear plant. On telecommunications, we have been working with AT&T in the US, Etisalat. We have been working on the Emirates, Telefonica in Spain, and South America, Facebook in the US. So as you can see, we have been working with, we have quite a lot of projects worldwide, and then with well-known companies. So here are my contact details. In case that you need to get in touch with me, you can have my mobile telephone number here or my email address, so you can contact me directly. Also, in case that you want to schedule a demo of any of the solutions that we talked to you today, you can either do it through email, or you can access to this web address that I just put in here. And then in case that you have any questions, you can activate your microphones, or you can either use the chat. So whatever is more convenient for you, please feel free to ask me any questions. As for the licenses, we have several options. I mean, the license can be perpetual. That means that you buy the license and you own it, or you can pay, or you can buy it on the subscription model. That means that that you pay for 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, whatever time you need it. Well, in case there is no questions, once again, thank you very much for attending to today's webinar. We really appreciate it. And then, as I said, here you have my contact details in case that you need to get in touch with me. And on the next coming days, so what we will do is we will be sending a copy of the presentation and also a link to the video so you can review all the different solutions that we introduced to you. Okay, so once again, thank you. Let's keep in touch and see you soon. Bye-bye.